Hello, I'm Liz Van Vliet, and welcome to the Assist with Impact podcast. Join me as I explore the competencies and capabilities that allow you to assist with impact. I'll be sharing practical tips, strategies, and insights that will help you move beyond what I call the order taker zone and be that little hinge that can swing big doors. If you're ready to be more proactive and have more impact in your role, then this is the place for you. Let's get started with the episode. Well, hello, lovely listeners. It is episode 175 of the Assist with Impact podcast, and it is another solo episode. I am going to tell you that this is my last solo episode for a few episodes because I am going to be bringing you some back-to-back interview episodes coming up with some wonderful assistants that you can look forward to coming in your feeds over the coming weeks and couple of months that I'm really looking forward to bringing you. But this episode is a bit of a mini episode, quite a short and sweet episode, and you can tell from the title that it is all about 5 ways that you can apply strategic thinking right now as an assistant. And it's top of mind for me because last week I delivered a masterclass here in Sydney, virtually, of course, but it was to primarily an Australian and pretty much a Sydney audience because it was for one of my Sydney recruiter friends, S10 Recruitment. It was a masterclass on how assistants can combine tactical and strategic thinking. And I thought I would share with you some of the content from that masterclass. So today I'm going to share with you this idea, very short and sharp, 5 ways that you can apply strategic thinking as an assistant. Why does it matter? Well, because I want you to be seen, and that's word seen. I want you to be more visible is the bottom line. I want you to be more visible. I want you to be seen and be more visible, but I particularly want you to be seen as more than just reactive. I want you to be seen as more than merely transactional. Yes, being tactical, being transactional is important. Delivering outputs. It's vitally important. But the future of the assistant role is going to be about melding tactical with strategic, being efficient and effective. So if you've listened to me or seen me present, you will know that I talk about efficient is doing things right. Effective is doing the right things. That's a quote from the management guru, Peter Drucker. So in this mini episode, I'm going to share with you 5 examples of where you can apply strategic thinking to your role as an assistant right now. Literally right now. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, streamlining processes. There is nothing stopping you right now from streamlining processes in your role? From analysing, starting with assessing and analysing the processes, the way you're doing your role. So understanding what slows you down. What are the barriers and the obstacles to getting things done, and then streamlining. So yes, that's going to take you doing a little bit of process mapping, getting some, getting a pad or a block of sticky 3M, what are they called? The 3M, a 3M pad out, and maybe mapping out a process that you use to do something and the various steps that are involved in that, and then looking at the way that you can streamline it. But there is nothing to stop you from looking at how you can do things more effectively, how things can be done more effectively between you and your manager. So think about that, streamlining processes. What is something that could be done more efficiently and effectively? Number 2, anticipating needs and requirements. So, if you've been working with your manager for a while, you will have an understanding of the meetings they need to be involved in, of the people they need to be connected with. So, I call that the operating rhythm. You might call that the cadence. There might be other, different terminology that's used in your organisation to describe the cadence, the rhythm of the rhythm, the way your manager operates in terms of the regular schedule of meetings, of the people that they meet with, the duration of those meetings, when those meetings happen, who they need to be connected with. Over time, you will have a flavour for how effective those meetings are, of who is more important for them to meet with. So you being strategic means you putting your big picture thinking hat on and looking at whether or not the meetings that were put in place, the meetings that are on paper actually make sense, or whether or not there is some observations you can make in terms of meetings, the duration of meetings, the length of those meetings, the people that are involved in meetings, that you could recommend, that you could make some recommendations about, that you could change up the duration of meetings, that you could suggest frequency of meetings. That's something that you could make some recommendations around, that you could anticipate needs and requirements around. That's something that you could do some anticipation around. Have a think about that. If that cadence, if that operating rhythm is not set up, that's something that you could be proactive around, getting that set up. So, number 3, building relationships. Managing those building of relationships for your manager. Maintaining current relationships and developing new relationships. So, in terms of new relationships, thinking about networking opportunities for your manager. That's an opportunity for you to be strategic on behalf of your manager. Who are people that it would be good for your manager to be establishing relationships with? What research and groundwork could you be doing to help them in terms of setting them up for success in those meetings? Could you be doing some LinkedIn research on their behalf when you know that they have a meeting coming up with somebody new that they don't know? That's an opportunity for you to be more strategic, to set up a shared folder or put a link in the meeting note to a shared folder or a document sharing some information with them about the person that they're going to meet. And in terms of maintaining current relationships, again, that's an opportunity for you to demonstrate your initiative in terms of helping them build relationships. And similarly, that is an opportunity for you in terms of building relationships. Who are the contacts for you within the organisation and outside the organisation that you could be building relationships with in terms of other EAs that you could be building relationships with? Number 4, improving communications. So this is about being strategic about what communication tool to use, when to use it, what to add to the mix, what to reduce, about being intentional about adapting and adjusting your communication and having a clear process for your communication. So when we're talking about communication, that's about using your emotional intelligence and reading between the lines with your manager. When they're under stress, it's about really adapting and adjusting. And that's a way that you can apply strategic thinking in that immediate sense. And the final way that you can apply strategic thinking right now is around evaluating outcomes. So that's the 5th thing that you can do right now. And this is the one that you could implement this week. If you're not already doing it, you could block half an hour into your schedule at the end of this week, do a weekly wrap-up to evaluate, to reflect and review what's been done, what's been achieved, what meetings were achieved, delivered, scheduled, what major events, what worked really well, what didn't work as well as you hoped. I like to use the traffic light system. Stop, start, keep doing. Focusing on continual improvement, progress, not perfection, having a growth mindset. And if this is new, if this is something you're just starting, then think about doing it just for yourself so that you can start identifying some patterns. And yes, I said that I was only sharing 5 things, but you could actually start doing this, and over a period of time, you could then start identifying some patterns. So maybe after a period of maybe 6 weeks, you could then show your manager what patterns you've identified. after you've been doing this for maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks. What's working? What are the red lights? What are the green lights? What are the amber lights? So, those are 5 things with an extra bonus in the number 6, for you to think about, the 5 ways you can start applying strategic thinking as an assistant right now. How you can be both efficient and effective. Things for you to think about. And I hope that's helpful. I hope if you're coming on board to the podcast for the first time after meeting me somewhere in the last week or so, that you've enjoyed this first taste of Liz, a little bit of vitamin L in your week. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll look forward to having you back in the next episode, which I'm going to give you a little teaser, is going to be an interview, followed by another interview and another interview that I'm editing at the moment. And I will look forward to bringing those to you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see the show notes, head over to my website. It would be great if you haven't already done so. If you enjoyed the show, if you could kindly go to iTunes and leave a review. It helps other people find the show. Thanks for listening and have a great week.